Welcome back, Rich Nation. Today we're going to be watching another My Hero Academia Season 4, Episode 4. The last couple episodes we've got to know more about Overhaul, which is kind of scary. It's kind of weird to see the tone shift a bit this season. Not like it didn't sprinkle it a bit in Season 3. We saw some darker spots, but they started out strong here. And then now to top it off, Overhaul shows up where Deku is, but the girl that we saw from the opening is randomly there. So there's some type of relationship between those two. I'm curious on what it is. Maybe they're family, or maybe part of the same, maybe she's somehow part of the same group, something like that. But I'm interested to see where this goes. It made me very intrigued. But anyway, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, smash that like button. Make sure you go ahead and follow my Twitter at ajrich123. I also have a Patreon, patreon.com/ajrich123 for full reactions and early releases. And let's go ahead and start.
This is sort of nerve-wracking.
God.
You went out on patrol during your internship, didn't you?
I just realized this is $1 million for him.
Oh no, it's not that. I just kind of missed out on learning some of the basics.
We'll get you up to snuff. Just watch and learn, my friend.
I still don't get it. Why didn't All Might say anything to me about Night Eye?
All Might.
That is curious for sure.
Our hero names. We should know each other's, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. I'm Deku.
Deku? Like Deck? That's weird.
I like it.
Okay, well, I'm Lemillion.
And here we go.
Okay,
Seems like she's gone through some trauma when you're scared to...
Why is she...
Oh, well, Deku's a stranger.
You should be more careful. We don't want to cause trouble for the heroes.
Yep.
Be careful not to arouse any suspicion.
Just in broad daylight, just like Shigaraki was.
I hope you'll forgive my daughter, Hero. I don't know what to do with her. Always
Daughter?
her off bumping into things.
Is that really his daughter?
I'm so sorry about that. It was our fault, too.
Right, I'm an idiot. If I let him see how freaked out I am, he'll get suspicious. And that could
I would have
screw
never
up
guessed
my
that was his
entire
daughter
case.
from seeing her in the
I know
opening.
that mask. You must be from the Hasaikai, right?
I actually see the facial similarities here between her and him. Actually, now that I look at his face, I kind of get it. That's okay. Then that is his daughter, but it's still kind of weird. Like like a main bad guy having a daughter. I don't know. I find it strange. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments.
On your feet, partner. Can't do much heroing from down there. His guard's obviously up. We're just using our internships to get some experience.
Don't tell him
Finish
anything.
patrolling this division by lunch.
She...
Please don't go.
Fuck. Maybe that... maybe she's really kidnapped and not related?
Sorry, but your daughter seems scared. She's grabbed me and won't let go.
She's definitely gone through some
Bandages all
trauma.
over. Those are just from playing rough?
Don't abuse the
Hera's
children.
An exceptionally clumsy girl.
Does that seem like it's normal to you?
It's dangerous to make assumptions about what's normal for other people.
Yeah,
Oof.
everybody's different, am I right?
This is bad. She'll let it go. Togeda wants us to leave, but that would only make him more suspicious. What hero would abandon a frightened child?
Their philosophies are
When we put on our
different.
costumes and take to the streets.
What are you doing to this girl?
You heroes really pick up on the subtlest things, don't you?
That's not subtle. Okay, let's go into an alley. Let's go to a back alley with, like,
You can't control your own child, but lately
a big
Harry
villain.
defies me no matter what I try.
What do you try?
So determined to do whatever they want that sometimes they
Fuck.
just don't listen. Oh, good. Done with your temper tantrum?
Oh, she must have saw he was gonna do something.
Are you sure?
She's always like this.
He was ready to get violent. That's why she
Yep.
went back. If we keep pushing him, he's gonna be even harder to catch.
You gotta
now,
back off
Fortress
now.
Sir.
You don't have a choice.
Nice high walls and not too many windows.
I was not expecting that, like, right off the bat.
After a week and a half of surveillance, I feel that there are fewer comings and goings today.
What?
The young people today are sicker than ever.
I barely took my eyes off her. The kid made a break for it.
Oh!
Clean that up. Right. All infected with hero syndrome.
Sorry.
Hero syndrome?
I mean, wow.
Is that what he
Odds
sees
of
them
randomly
as?
running into a target.
Does he see people as like heroes have a disease? Like it's not like it's an actual issue. It's like, wow. This I can't imagine her actually being his daughter. It just feels so weird. I think it's a lie.
Chisaki and his gang were involved in a recent traffic accident caused by a group of hoodlums, which isn't remarkable in and of itself, except there were 0 casualties. The authorities believe Chisaki's quirk may have been responsible. But with the villains caught and nobody harmed, there was no crime to accuse him of.
The money that was stolen burned up, so there was nothing left to recover.
Oh, I forgot. Sir, we got lucky, at least a little. Our brief encounter yielded some new intel. Chisaki, he has a daughter.
A daughter?
A little girl who he called Eri.
I won't let your arrogance interfere with this case.
But sir...
Haste won't help the situation. Take your time pursuing a target. You're not so special that you can save whoever you want whenever you want.
Damn. Yeah,
We've
all
asked
their
other
philosophies are a
agencies
bit
to team up
different.
with us. We must first predict our opponent's moves and then make preparations to face him. The two of you should head back into the office for today. Bubble Girl, let's go.
The problem is if you wait too long, things are gonna elevate faster than you can fix.
My work study ended.
I mean, I think
Harry,
this is gonna mess with Deku.
Disobeying me like this. You're the core of my plan, you know. And I would hate to have to get my hands dirty.
He says that he's got an answer for you.
An answer, huh? I think he probably will work. I think Shigaraki is probably going to work with him because in this case, and especially since he sees their overall power, but I think he's going to he must have some like conditions. There has to be some conditions to it. But I just want to quickly speak about like how Deku's relation to the way Mirio and all of them kind of do the way of a hero here. Deku always wants to save everybody, you know, always wants to do the hero thing, but in this case I kind of have to agree with you have to kind of take the way Mirio was doing it, like you have to take your time and kind of figure out the situation. You couldn't, first of all, you're going to a weird back alley. You would have probably died if you'd put yourself in a situation, so it's a good thing where they kind of just waited it out a little bit, didn't go too drastic. And I think this is going to be harder for Deku than most things he's dealt with because he doesn't know how to stop. I think that's one of his greatest like issues he has. He doesn't know when to like back off, or like he's really good at thinking up plans and stuff, but when something goes right to him and it like immediately happens in front of him, he has a really hard time like just dropping it or retreating and backing and figuring things out when it comes to that. So I'm a little worried about that, especially when it's something like when he needs to save someone. There's different situations where it doesn't happen to him like that, but when it's something that he knows is completely wrong, he can't get that out of his head. So I am worried about him when it comes to that.
What happened to Bakugo? Was he fighting again?
He's not
Back to the non-serious stuff.
Look at the back of the room.
For real?
Hey, how'd your work study go? Were there lots of scantily clad heroes?
His was the most serious.
Yeah, sure.
I wish.
Hear about you getting ahead of me!
So much stuff all at once. See, he can't get it out of his head.
It's got worse. Please, you've got to tell me everything.
He is missing information.
I have to talk to you, Walmart! Night understands how One for All works, and he wanted you to pass it on to Togeda, not me. You had to know I'd find out everything. So why didn't you warn me about it? To hear all of this at once, be rejected by him, and before I even had a chance to make sense of it all. The worst part was not knowing why you kept it a secret, how I should feel about it.
I didn't think knowing this information would help with your development. But if you really want the truth,
Anything's better than having you keep secrets from me.
you may regret this. It was my policy not to take on sidekicks. But Eventually, I gave in and let him be my number 2. We worked together for about 5 years. He was
That's a long time.
my operations. 6 years ago, we dissolved our partnership because of my injury. Turns out we had different values. But everyone's looking to me for my help. If there are frightened citizens, then I have to go to them.
Forget how much she goes through.
That body and the entire world is going to suffer. Comfortable life. Just find a cheerful and strong replacement and entrust your role in society to them.
That's why he sees Muriel.
And who will be the symbol until I find someone like that?
I revere its function, but please, All Might, you can't even smile right now. I'll say
He
it again.
feels for him.
You must retire. I can't.
He cares that much, though.
Didn't you? I told you not to use your foresight on me.
If you step away now, another number 1 will appear.
How many people will have to fear for their lives?
Wait, did he see his demise? Can he see that far ahead?
Besides, your foresight is never wrong, so why fight this?
I can change the future. At
How
this
far
rate,
in the
if
future
things
can he
play out
see?
as I've seen, that can't happen. Don't you see? I'm here because I want to do something to help you. Please, All Might.
I have to be able to say that I am still here.
Please stop! If you continue like this, you'll face off against a villain and die an unspeakably gruesome death.
It didn't happen. He did all for one fight and it didn't happen.
Before I could meet him, I ended up running into you.
Timing.
Because you're my fan.
He didn't want to show weakness, and he didn't want him to know about his...
Going to die?
That's gonna mess with his head. That's gonna mess with his head.
And everyone will die someday.
But now it's there.
Forced to hear it from All Might himself. He'll die.
You're passing
Damn.
your one for all onto a quirkless middle school student?
That's the right choice to make. The boy wants to save people.
He can't do that with intentions alone.
So he started training a candidate he thought was better.
Which was Mirio. It's all for All Might, too.
Tell me! About Night Eye's vision! How far into the future was it?
6 or 7 years.
Wow. He can see that far?
That would be this year or the next.
Damn.
Do you remember what you said at the sports festival?
He will die.
Promise? Watch me tell them I am here. I need you here. Don't you understand?
He's always lived life like this.
You were there, kiddo. You see, all those days we spent with one another affected me. So despite my future, I'll keep fighting with you by my side, young Midoriya. Because you have changed me. I will mold my fate and strike down anything else that gets in our way with this fist.
If anybody can do it, All Might can.
I won't let them end me. The future that's been foretold will not come to pass.
He's such a fucking good character.
All for one. Night Eye's predictions have come true. And that's why I can't face him after all these years.
He doesn't want to
Please,
face
I
the
never want
truth.
to become a shackle holding you back.
Can't happen. I refuse to let it. That's why, no matter what happens to you, I'll be there to help fight fate.
Their bond is more than I've seen from so many animes. Like, it's ridiculous. I didn't think I'd get this much from this show. I swear to God. Why does this show break my fucking feeling barrier so much, man?
That you'll join us under the right conditions?
I knew it. Conditions. Yep. It's to benefit. It has to benefit him. When it comes to that little end credit scene, I already knew it was going to be under conditions, but it's to benefit him. There's probably some. I wonder what the conditions are, but there's something there for sure. He must have some type of backup plan to either betray him or something, because he does not want to be second fiddle to anybody at this point, other than All for One, and like, even then he's supposed to be his successor, so it's kind of a different relationship there. But I was saying that, like, when it comes to All Might, I think he is probably in my at least top 3 to 4 characters, like best anime characters. And I know that's hard to, like, that's, I would say top 5 at least. That's a really hard thing to say, but I swear to God, with him and Deku, and especially their connection, it may, like, I get feelings from the show I didn't think I would. Like, I don't know what it is, but like I really love the show, but it completely it confuses me sometimes when it like initiates a scene and you think you might not feel as much as you would, but then it just like it starts talking like this. It starts talking about him having an actual like fate, like he's supposed to die, and it just like hit me in the middle of that scene, and I was kind of speechless for a second, and I don't know. I just don't expect it, I guess. I don't know what it is, because it's so lighthearted. This show is so lighthearted, like 75% of the time. Like, and I mean, in earlier seasons, even more than that. But when it goes into this serious, and like, it really knows how to pull on the feels. Like, it really does. But I can only imagine, like, I feel like it could be one of many things. Like, his fate, maybe if he hadn't met Deku, maybe he was supposed to die against All For One. But why would he be there? And then when I think about it, why would he be there if Deku hadn't been a part of that, though? So it's weird, but maybe he would have died in another case against All For One, and he got out of that fight because he was protecting everybody, but he had to be there. He knew he had to be there still for Deku. It's the only reason why he was still alive there. He knew he had, because Deku's not ready yet. He still had to be there, and just like he said, he wants to be there and fight with him until the last moment and change his fate. But if Night Eye's visions have never been wrong, and it's one of those things, how would he die? Like, what situation would put him into fighting it again? That's why it makes me feel like he's gotten around that fate, unless he puts himself in a situation where he's having to fight. Because in this case, he's not really able to fight at all. His powers are pretty much gone. We haven't seen him actually be able to like attack or anything since that fight. Only thing we've seen is transform for like half a second, not very long. So him being able to bring out any power at this point would be really strange. So unless he's sacrificing himself, I just don't see him being able to even like throw a punch at this point. So he might have been able to get out of that fate, but that also makes it a weird situation where I didn't think Night Eye's abilities were that extreme, where he can literally see that far into the future. And if he could do that, it matters, I guess, what he's looking for. His quirk is probably like, it probably has some stipulations, because he saw only like when he did Deku's, it was just that stage. He didn't see like further on. So I wonder if he could see Deku's like, and see where it goes and see Deku's. That might be a smart thing to do. See Deku's future. But if he's never wrong, that's like him actually being able to, like, Night Eye being able to go through life like that is crazy. Foresight for real, like being able to see people's futures would fuck with my head. I know that. And see people's fates. But it also made him like make me respect him a ton more and kind of get where he was coming from. Like with All Might, that scene was really very, very emotional, because we know All Might, like, even though he got that injury, he wasn't going to stop, and he was fighting time pretty much at that point. And Night Eye only had he's a fan. He's somebody that's looked up to him, since he was a kid, and he's a fan and has like this, extreme emotion towards him. And he was his sidekick for years. So it just makes me respect him more, even though we knew he looked up to him to that point where he's only quitting because he wants to save. He's doing all of this for All Might, just like Deku. It also puts a similarity, kind of weird, like similarity connection between Night Eye and Deku too, even though they're total opposites. It's strange to see that. Also, I mean, there's so much stuff to talk about on this episode. I liked the little tidbit with Mirio and Deku running into the little girl and Overhaul, but I liked how Mirio actually kind of like took that situation. I think he did it correctly. And like I said before, Deku, like, he's still in this space where it's like he needs All Might still. He needs like that voice, because I mean, because he has like that same feeling, like the same thing. All Might, he wants to save everybody, but if you're not smart about it, you could get into it just like then. Maybe if Muriel wasn't there, maybe or like if she hadn't ran back to him or whatever when he was going to attack, that could have been a different situation. And that I wonder if that can make those two butt heads at all. Like I saw them really like. I saw like a real connection between them two, like even like a possible, like it feels like they could work together, like hero and sidekick. I feel like they have like a connection there, but at the same time, their looks at things are different, so they might actually butt heads. And I think the future is really open when it comes to that dynamic. Also, man, did that make my head like change so many times on, are they actually, is he just saying that and lying, just to kind of put a connection between those two? Are they father and daughter? Is that really his daughter, or is it just something like he stole her and he's like using her? Because that's what it felt like to me. Like, but it made me change my opinion like 5 times during that episode. But anyway, oh my gosh, I'm rambling about this one for a while, but man, there's just so many moving parts here. I have to say, this is I feel like this season is really kicked off like hard. Like I hope this season keeps up like this, because each episode is really making me think, and like it's just dynamic. I love it. I'm loving this season. I have a full season, which makes me so happy that we have season 4. Like there's a lot of episodes, so I can enjoy it to the fullest. But anyway, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, smash that like button. Check out my Patreon at patreon.com/ajrich123 if you'd like full reactions, early releases, lots of cool stuff. I'd appreciate that if you check that out. I also have been streaming on twitch.tv/ajrich. I'm going to actually be doing Persona 5 streams. Actually, by the time this drops on YouTube, I'll probably be in the middle of doing Persona 5 Royal streams over on there. So if you want to check it out, feel free to. We do a lot of cool stuff on there, and reaction streams on Thursday at 2 p.m. PST as well. So that's pretty fun. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.